conference realignment has come at a price. Just ask the Pac-12, gutted as one team after another followed the money east. Now one of the remaining leagues is feeling the heat from its own members. Michele Steele has more on the ACC's latest challenge in tonight's SportsCenter report.
Death Valley is putting the ACC on defense, with Clemson taking its own conference to court in a lawsuit widely seen as a precursor to leaving the league.
And tonight, hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Clemson's complaint, filed in Pickens County, South Carolina, called the ACC's $140 million exit fee exorbitant and unenforceable. It also claims the grant of rights used to hold the schools together via their media rights should be struck down in court. Amid all of this, other ACC schools have grumbled about their TV contract being outpaced by other conferences. ESPN is the ACC's media rights partner until 2036. And former UNC Chancellor Kevin Guskiewicz said in a recent interview with Inside Carolina, his data projects a $35 to $45 million pay gap per school in the ACC versus SEC and Big Ten membership by the end of the decade.
Who's got it better than you?
I know the answer to that one.
You do?
Nobody.
Clemson might agree as it wages its own legal battle alongside Florida State, which sued the conference for similar reasons in December. Commissioner Jim Phillips now finds himself under pressure to keep the ACC from turning into the Pac-12, an unrecognizable version of itself after its best football schools found more money elsewhere. I'm Michele Steele, ESPN.
College football senior writer Pete Thamel has an article up on ESPN.com right now that goes really in depth on this very situation and joins us now. And Pete, we know the ACC released a statement, defended the conference and the contract that Clemson signed, but what does all this mean for the greater landscape of college football?
I think when we look back on this today, it's a significant day in where we are and where we're going in college athletics. When they do the 30 for 30 on the redrawing of the map of college sports, there's an irresistible intersection that happened today. We have the CFP news with all of obviously the leagues agreeing to a 8-year deal with ESPN. And included in that is a financial codification of just how far ahead the Big Ten and the SEC are up from the ACC. It's almost $10 million a year just from the CFP. You combine that with the nearly $30 million a year estimated in the lawsuit today by Clemson, and it's just an exclamation point for how far these leagues are ahead of everybody else. So when you really look at where the Big Ten and the SEC are as a power two, I think this is the most significant note. If Clemson and Florida State do end up leaving, and again, they haven't left, this is essentially a declaration of free agency for them. But if they do leave, the only team remaining that's been in the college football playoff the last 10 years is TCU of the Big 12. Every other playoff participant will be in a Power 2 league.
Yeah, you make sure to mention in the article as well that neither FSU or Clemson has been invited or likely will be invited to join someplace else until they've shed themselves of the legal baggage. Again, go to ESPN.com if you want to get the full story from Pete Thamel, who joins us here on SportsCenter. And Pete, you just mentioned it, so let's give you the full news here that the College Football Playoff and ESPN have agreed to a 6-year, $7.8 billion deal through the 2031-32 season. With the playoff expanding to 12 teams in 2024-25, the network will add all 4 of the new postseason games. The 9 conferences and Notre Dame had already signed an agreement for a playoff format that could expand to 14 teams in 2026, Kevin.
Give me something.